This is a major escalation, and it could change the direction of the entire war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has now claimed that up to 70% of Iran's steel production capacity has been destroyed in recent strikes. At the same time, Iran is responding with attacks on critical energy sites across the Gulf, sending shockwaves through the region and global markets. This is no longer just a military conflict. This is economic warfare at full scale. According to Netanyahu, the destruction of Iran's steel sector is not just symbolic, it is strategic. Steel is a backbone of military production. It is used in missiles, drones, vehicles, and infrastructure. By targeting it, Israel and its allies are aiming to weaken Iran's ability to sustain long-term war operations, but Iran is not staying silent. In response, missile and drone strikes have been reported targeting energy and industrial facilities in Gulf countries. Fires, damage, and disruptions are being reported, raising fears that the conflict is now expanding far beyond Iran's borders. And right now, the biggest fear is this. If energy infrastructure becomes a primary target, the consequences will not just be regional. They will be global. The destruction of Iran's steel industry marks one of the most significant strategic blows of the war so far. According to Israeli leadership, these strikes were carried out in coordination with U.S. forces, targeting key industrial hubs and production facilities. Why is steel so important? Because it is not just about construction. It is about war capability. Steel is used to build missile casings, military vehicles, naval equipment, and even critical infrastructure that supports defense systems. Without it, production slows down, repairs take longer, and long-term sustainability becomes harder. Netanyahu has framed this as a major achievement, claiming it deprives Iran's military, especially the Revolutionary Guard, of both resources and manufacturing capacity. But here's the reality. Destroying infrastructure does not immediately end a war. Iran still has stockpiles, it still has underground facilities, and it still has the ability to respond. And that response is already happening. Instead of focusing only on direct confrontation, Iran appears to be shifting strategy, targeting energy and industrial assets across the region. This is a calculated move. Because hitting energy sites doesn't just affect one country, it sends a message to the entire global system. And now, the war is entering an even more dangerous phase, because energy is becoming the battlefield. Recent reports confirm that Iranian-linked strikes have targeted industrial and energy facilities in Gulf states, including key infrastructure in countries like the UAE and Bahrain. This is a major escalation. Because energy infrastructure is not just a military target, it is a global lifeline. Oil refineries, gas plants, and industrial zones are directly connected to the world economy. When these are hit, the effects are immediate. Oil prices react, markets become unstable, supply chains are disrupted. And that is exactly what we are starting to see. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical oil routes in the world, is already under pressure. This narrow waterway handles a massive portion of global oil supply, and any disruption here can trigger a global energy crisis. Now imagine this scenario. Iran continues targeting Gulf energy sites. Shipping routes become unsafe. Oil flow is reduced or halted. The result? A global shockwave. Higher fuel prices, rising inflation, economic instability across multiple countries. This is why experts are calling this phase of the war the most dangerous so far. Because it is no longer just about missiles and airstrikes, it is about control of global energy. But what makes this situation even more complex is the multi-front nature of the conflict. This is no longer just Israel versus Iran. This is a network of tensions spreading across the entire region. In Lebanon, Hezbollah remains active. In Yemen, Houthi forces are involved. Across the Gulf, energy infrastructure is being targeted. Each of these fronts adds another layer of risk. Because the more fronts a war has, the harder it becomes to control. And right now, control is slipping. Air defense systems are being activated across multiple countries. Missile interceptions are happening daily. And military forces are on high alert. At the same time, global powers are watching closely. Some are calling for de-escalation, others are preparing for a longer conflict, and behind the scenes, diplomatic efforts are struggling to keep up with the pace of escalation. Because the truth is, this war is moving fast, faster than negotiations, faster than global response systems, and that creates a dangerous gap between action and control. Now the world faces one critical question. What happens next? Because everything we are seeing points toward one possibility: further escalation. If Israel and the U.S. continue targeting Iran's infrastructure, and Iran continues striking energy sites across the Gulf, then this conflict could move into an entirely new phase. A phase where energy becomes the primary weapon, global markets become unstable, multiple countries are directly involved. And once that happens, the conflict is no longer regional, it becomes global. At the same time, there is still a narrow window for diplomacy. But that window is closing. Fast. Because in conflicts like this, every strike increases pressure, every response raises stakes, and every delay makes de-escalation harder. Right now, the situation is balanced on a knife's edge. One wrong move, one major strike, one unexpected escalation, and everything could change. This is not just another update. This is a critical moment in a conflict that is rapidly reshaping the global landscape. And as events continue to unfold, one thing is clear: the war is far from over.